Hi drummers, hope you're well. Right, this is a video about playing shuffles and how to expand on your basic shuffle groove, give you some cool variations. A shuffle groove, in case you need to know, is this. So basically, kick, snare, or whatever variations you want to play. But the key thing that makes it a shuffle is that right stick or lead stick on the hi-hat, or even the ride or the floor tom, playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and swung eighths, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So this video kind of assumes that you can do that and play it to a decent sort of level and keep it solid and groovy and play to a good speed. I'll link in the description below this video to a video which describes that in more detail, and another one which is about building up your speed and fluency with that. But assuming you've got that going, some cool variations. The ones that I use the most are what we call the in the gap shuffle, the Chicago shuffle, and then just the on the snare shuffle, which I think is a really, really cool one as well. So the first thing to do to vary it, if we're thinking just about the regular beat, is just move where your right stick, for me, or lead stick, plays on the kit, right? So hi-hat, you can always take it to the ride, kind of open it up. I always think the ride gives you that lovely big sort of cushion of sound that can drive things along. Another classic for a sort of glam rock vibe is to play your lead stick or right stick, for me, on the floor tom. Kind of always love that. That's a nice feel. So that's the kind of basic groove, and just putting your right stick or lead stick in some different places. That's a good place to start. And really cool variation to do after that is what I call the Chicago shuffle, sometimes called the Texas shuffle as well. This is when you simply play both sticks together. And this is just a great way, I think, of just giving it a lift. Like, I use this a lot. Could be all the way through the song, depends on the tune, but often if it's like going into a bit that really needs an extra lift, and I often feel like I use this as if there's a bit more space in the music, honestly. So I use this quite often to support a guitar solo. If it's that feeling of like, maybe the vocals are out and there's that little bit more space for the musicians to do their thing. Both sticks together in sync. Sense. I'm playing nice and soft, like ghosted notes basically on the snare drum, except for the big backbeat here on the 2 and the 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Love that. So that's both sticks locked together, and yeah, that one's all about dynamics, particularly with that left stick. You keep it soft. Give it a big thump on the backbeat to drive it along. One other cool variation that you can do there is, if you want to play left stick like that, or snare drum stick like that, you can play your right stick playing a swing pattern rather than a true shuffle. So right stick playing shuffle pattern. So that's the Chicago shuffle, or sometimes called the Texas shuffle. I'm not sure if there's a difference. It doesn't seem to be, just in the way the musicians that describe those. So Chicago shuffle. Then there's the in the gap shuffle. Now I've done a whole video about this one, which I'll link to below. In fact, all of these variations have got their own little video, and they'll all be linked below. But I'll get through this as quick as I can. Now the big idea here is we're going to play ghosted notes in the gaps between the hi-hat or ride shuffle, right? Remember, the shuffle is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and what we're going to do here is think of that as, well, what it is, which is triplets: 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, with the middle note missing, right? 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. And what we do on that missing trip, if you like, each time, we're going to play a quiet note on the snare. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet. in the gap shuffle, that's a great place to start. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now what you're going to need to do, of course, is still play the backbeat. So this takes a bit of building up coordination-wise if it's new. We're going to go 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. So again, if you really want to, if you really aren't quite there with this yet now, what you could do is just go to the description below this video and check out the video where I build that up in more detail. But the basic sequence is 1 triplet on beat 1, right? So you've got hi-hat, snare, and the hi-hat, and that would have a kick with it on beat 1 because it's at the start of the bar, right? 1 triplet. When you get to beat 2, you're going to go 2 triplet because you need your big backbeat, right, for beat 2. So that's going to be backbeat, snare, and hi-hat. Quiet snare, hi-hat on its own. Beat 2, 2 triplet. So the first half of the bar for the in the gap shuffle, 1 triplet, 2 triplet. Now the really good news is the second half is the same, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Okay, that really does take a bit of building up for most drummers. If it's new, that really does take a bit of building up. So go slow. Check out the video in the link below, and yeah, man, just build that one up. A lovely one to have. So it really does give that sort of subtlety and nuance and that kind of Jeff Beccaro, Toto vibe. It really does take a bit of building out that one, but go with it, man. I love it. That's a great one. Don't lose any sleep over it if that takes time to build out. In fact, that definitely will take time. You'll be cool with that. Just persevere, man. Persevere. Go slow. Most important bit with that, if you're building it up, is just show your brain and your hands and your feet every note in sequence a few times first. Where most people go wrong with that is people just try to do everything at once too quick. Just build it up bit by bit, man. Okay, lovely. And then the last one is the snare shuffle. This is pretty simple. This is basically as simple as taking your right stick from the hi-hat, or your lead stick from the hi-hat or the right floor tom to the snare, right? So my little thing with this, I think a lot of drummers do this to my ears, is the other twist here is when your right stick or lead stick is on the snare drum, what I do is I delay my backbeat hit with my left stick, the big loud hit on the snare on 2 and 4. I delay that just a little bit so it makes a flam. The right stick goes before the left stick. Is that making a bit of sense? Like, as opposed to landing it at the same time, where you can sometimes get like a not very clean sound, or like even like a sort of flanging sound where the quiet note and the loud note play together. So I really like that sound of the flam in there. That's a great sound for like a party type shuffle, I don't know, like a bluegrass or country type of thing. That can be absolutely brilliant. And just randomly, it's coming up for like Christmas gig season. And if you're ever playing Merry Christmas Everybody by Slade, that's a beat that works really well for that as well. Like 70s, again, that slightly glam rock kind of feel, if played with the right sort of, with the right vibe. Okay, cool, so I'll recap them real quick. Regular shuffle. You play it on the hi-hat, on the ride. The Chicago Shuffle, both sticks together. Little twist on that. Left stick playing all the shuffle notes, but right stick playing a jazz or swing pattern. Can be a great sound. Next one is in the gap shuffle. Little quiet note on the trip, each time of 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. For some Jeff Porcaro vibes, and then finally on the snare shuffle. To my ears has a, like I say, either a bluegrass country kind of party hoedown kind of vibe, or like a 70s, like British glam rock kind of vibe, depending on the music that goes with it, really. So that's some cool, hopefully, inspiration for things you could do with a shuffle beat. I feel like they're the main places I would personally take it when you're playing a shuffle, but you want to sort of go beyond the basic feel and expand a little bit. Obviously, fills-wise, you're talking triplets, because the whole thing is got this undercurrent of the triplets, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplets. You can have some fun with that. And thanks a million for watching as always. Any questions about that or anything else, give us a shout. Please like and share these videos. Appreciate it so much. And sorry I've not had any up in the last few days. I'm actually a bit all over the place, as you can see here. As you can see, my studio is kind of packed up here, sort of ready to go. All my kit's kind of down now because I'm moving out of the studio at the end of this week, right? And I'm already sort of gone to the new one, got set up there. That's going to be active from January basically. So December's going to be all about getting that ready. I'm going to do some videos here before I go, which I'll put up, and I'm going to do I'll do a load of videos on V drums, and I'm actually going to go to a different studio that I'll hire just for like a day, do a whole load of these videos. So I'll keep going with the videos, and my aim will certainly be to stick a video of some sort up every day to keep you going. Really appreciate you watching it and getting involved and all the lovely feedback and all the lovely messages and comments and all the rest of it. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already. Please do that, because that's actually massive. That's probably that's probably is the number one thing you can do to support it if you're into it. But two other cool ways you can support it are to buy me a coffee, and I massively appreciate people doing that. As a buy me a coffee, and that's a virtual coffee. It's not actual coffee. It's just a very small contribution to the channel, and that's a brilliant way to support it if you like what's happening here. Another cool way to support it is to visit my Amazon shop. Everything you need to know about this is in the description below as well, a link and everything. It's amazon.co.uk/shop/Mike Barnes Drums. That's all the drum stuff that I would use, and I do use and recommend if you're looking for like Christmas present for someone, or just, you know, you're after a drum book or some drumsticks. All the stuff that I use, basically all the stuff you see here in these videos, is on there. Drum heads and all that good stuff, cymbals, all that. And yeah, and again, anything you buy on there doesn't cost you any more than it would on Amazon anyway. But anything you do, a tiny bit of the profit comes back to this channel, and I mean a tiny bit of the profit comes back and helps it keep going. So I really appreciate that as well. And please follow Mike Barnes Drums on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and Twitter and LinkedIn. I'm on all of those, whatever your platform of choice is. It's on a little bit different. So the YouTube thing is still where it's at, man. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. The YouTube thing is still absolutely the heart of the thing here, and I'll do one of those for each day. I do throw quite a lot of other stuff on there now on Instagram and TikTok and all the others as well, because I wanted to do a whole load of stuff to kind of document what's happening outside of these videos. These videos I kind of think of as the core thing that I do here online, and it's just like you know, lessons and tips and all the rest of it. And I think this format for me is like where it's at for now. With this, if you want a little bit more of like what's going on outside of this, obviously there's stuff about my studio, stuff about what I'm into, what I'm doing, gigs I'm doing, all that kind of stuff. If you want a little bit more like what's going on in my world of drumming outside of these videos, feel free to check me out on any of those, all the links below. And thanks a million. Any questions about anything, give us a shout. Thanks again for being here. See you soon. Thanks so much.